So today we're going to have a stab at making a solar oven. We've got no idea how it's going to turn out, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we're going to be baking muffins in that bad boy shortly. But if not, it'll be a learning curve one way or the other. So we're going to be using what we've got lying around the workshop with some bought materials. So I'll run them through now so you've got an idea of what we're doing. So this is the bit of found glass that we're going to use as the lid. All the measurements are going to be based off of this. As you can see here, we've got quite a few plywood offcuts. So plywood is going to form the basis of our box. You could use anything though, but yeah, plywood's great because it's stable. There's no gaps. We don't want air coming through and whatnot. If I was using reclaimed wood, it'd be much more of a mission to make it airtight. Plywood will be good for this. So, along with the glass and the plywood that we already have, I have this rubber window seal from a previous van that we had. So I'm going to try and use some of that to make a seal for the door. Which brings us on to the bought items, which I think came out to more or less 75 euros in total. So we have here some silvery, I don't even like, sticky silvery stuff that we got from a stationer's shop that we're going to use as reflective material. We have some aluminium tape, which is also quite reflective and sticky, very handy. And we got these two bits of aluminium sheeting. Got a couple of these cupboard hinges for holding the door or the oven door open. We've got some of these clips for keeping the oven door tightly shut, in theory. Selection of hinges. Sikaflex, this stuff's great. And polystyrene, 2 centimeter polystyrene. Also got some black paint, which we'll be painting the box with, because black is apparently heat absorbent. So in theory, it should help our oven. You may be wondering, what the f is this? I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you what, why don't you tell me what you think it is in the comments? Let's kick off that way. So it looks all right. So it looks all right. Cool, so we've processed the offcuts into the appropriate parts, Time to have a coffee break, I think. And everything's going to be angled at 30 degree. I say everything. The lid will be angled at 30 degree, which is why I was having to do cuts on the front and the back, so that the lid, in theory, will sit nice and flush with the top of the box. The world's much better with some of this. Right, so I'm going to recess out now a section from the lid to take the glass door section, and I put a 6mm router bit in here because it's the smallest one I've got, which has a nice small radius for the corners, which means I have to do less chiseling. So I'll do one run through with the 6mm just to mark out the line, and then I'll put a bigger bit in to hog out the rest, and in theory that should work quite well. Cut all the parts, the glass has been Sikaflexed in. We're going to start putting it together, one step closer to those muffins. These are the sides. As you can see here, they've been cut to an angle. That angle is 30 degrees. Got my handles on here. We were going to buy handles, and then I thought, well, I've got the plywood. Also, plywood doesn't heat up. so you can pick it up. I figured if it gets very hot in this oven, maybe I'm being optimistic, but if it gets very hot, I would rather pick up a piece of plywood than a piece of metal. This is the front of the oven. It's been beveled to 30 degrees to match the 30 degree sides. This is the back of the oven, also beveled to 30 degrees, and I had to glue two separate parts together because I didn't have enough spare plywood to cut one solid piece. But obviously if you have, use a solid piece, it's better. But I didn't have, so there we go. There's the base. This is going to be the lid with a reflective aluminium panel on it. And this is the lid, obviously with the glass in, and as you can see it's all been glued in with the Sikaflex, which is used to hold car windscreens in place. So it should totally do the job for our solar oven. So after a bit of fannying about, we've got the silver paper stuck to the polystyrene, which we are now going to Sikaflex inside the box. Let's do it. So now we've Sikaflexed in the polystyrene with the silver adhesive paper on it, and we use some of the aluminium tape to run around the edges so there's no gaps. And I'm going to use this aluminium, I love that sound. I'm going to use this aluminium plate in the bottom because it's a bit sturdier, because this paper's very, it's quite thin, so if you put a pot on there, baking tray, whatever it is you're using, you might rip it. So our solution is this. we've got the lid, which we are now going to make reflective with this bit of aluminium and leftover bits of silver adhesive paper. Last night I stuck down the rubber to make the seal here, as you can see, and yeah, it's moving forward nicely. Right, primer's dried. We're going to apply black paint now, because black paint is heat absorbent and our solar oven will be more efficient coated in black paint. Right, so these cabinet hinges, these cabinet stay hinges that we bought at the hardware store, they're obviously made for cabinets. This isn't a cabinet, so I had to adjust them in order to get them to work. So I drilled out the bits for the cabinet, leaving it just with this, which works pretty well. So the idea is that locks out. It's a big reflective panel now, and it will bounce more light, sunlight, into the box and heat it up more. Muffins are in the HAL 9000 solar oven. It's actually getting pretty hot, so I think we're in with a fighting chance of eating these bad boys a bit later. Jesus, that's hot. Jesus Christ. It's pretty hot. Yeah. So, our carrot cake muffins are done. Look bloody awesome, to be honest. It took about 3 hours to do these, which apparently takes 45 minutes in a conventional oven. So that's not bad. And today's not the hottest of the hot days. So, hotter day, take less time. Good stuff.